Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics, episode 51. Today we're making this. So even though this tutorial is relatively small, it is a very long effect to make. It takes a long time to actually create this. So either reduce the amount of polygons that you have, those are the little triangles, or just, well, be prepared to spend a lot of time making this. But yeah, the effect can be very nice, even though my effect is not that spectacular. But yeah, you can do a lot more with it, and if you have something nice, please leave a comment and show me what you made. Let's get into it. Okay, here we are in After Effects. We are going to start off, as always, with a new composition. It is going to be called, well, it doesn't even matter. Let's just keep it like this. 30 seconds. It's going to be 1080 by 1080. It's going to be a square. And you can, of course, change that if you want. Let's do it 1280 by 720. Kind of our standard here. And we're going to load in a photograph file. Here we go. There's my photograph. You can do this with all types of photographs. The only thing you need to take care of, or well, notice on the photograph, is whether there are enough different colors on there. Because I will show you in a moment. Let me just scale this a little bit so that it actually fits in. So I'm only going to do the red part. I'm not going to care about the green. But if we open, hang on, import file, and if we open this birdie, and you will see that that is not a good photograph. Oh, that's the wrong one. There you go, the birdie. Let's scale that a little bit so you can actually see it. There you go. I wanted to do this one first because it had nice colors, but this is virtually one color, and you really don't want that. You want those shadowy edges everywhere, and so everywhere here there are like, well, two distinct colors, this dark one and then the lighter one, and here it's basically one color. This is basically one color. This is basically one color. So on the rows, however, if we turn that back on, there are a lot of different colors. Well, they're all red, but still, you can see that this color is completely different from this color, and so on. So you need those different colors, and otherwise, well, you can use the bird, I guess, but you'd have to make up your own colors, and it's kind of the point to use the photograph for that. So there are several ways of doing this. You can use a solid here, and then color that in the color that you want. You can also just use the photograph and then use fill, which is this. Fill will do exactly the same, but then on top of the photograph. So we're going to use that just for kicks. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, one of the two would be the best. So we're going to just start off with one triangle. Let's say it goes up to here, and then it goes back. So we're going to make all triangles, and I'm going to set the masks here to actually be none, so we can keep seeing the photograph. So what we need here is we need to keep duplicating the mask, hiding one of the, or sorry, locking one of them, well, preferably the one that we just made, and then selecting this. I did pick the selection tool now, so I made the mask obviously with the pen tool, and we're going to just drag it out, and then we're going to duplicate, lock this, take the one point that, well, has to change, and then we're going to put it over there. Then we're going to duplicate, lock, take the one point, that's this one actually. So, and put it over, I don't know, there. Something, I don't know. You want to have, well, reasonably large things, triangles, and you definitely don't want it to be, well, to be kind of the same everywhere. I'm going to add a point here, and that is because I want the next point to start here, so the next triangle to be like this. which means that we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. We're going to duplicate afterwards. It doesn't really matter whether you did before or after, but this point is going to go over here somewhere, and then this point is going to be deleted with the pen tool. Just click on it and it will be deleted. So what it does now is it uses this point instead of that point, well, or this point, I don't know, you can choose. So as long as there are 3 points, you're all good. The thing is, you want this to be exactly on the line, and by the way, you didn't have to duplicate it first. You could have also done it differently, so you could have done it like this. So duplicate the entire mask first, then make this point, let this point disappear, and then drag this point over there. I'm sure we'll meet another opportunity to use this technique, but it's a very easy technique to get the exact spots that you're looking for, and well, that's worth something, right? Let's duplicate, lock, and then pick up one of them. I already have my selection tool back. We're going to go over here and then duplicate, lock, and you lock them because, well, by selecting this the points that you want to move, you actually kind of well, select everything that's in that region. So you would select the other mask as well. Let me color this a different color because I want to know whether I have the correct one. Okay, there you go, it's this one. So duplicate that, and we're going to lock the original, of course, and then we're going to use this one to drag over here to make sure that we have our next one. So this is where it becomes interesting. Well, if you can call it interesting, it's still just a bunch of work without really being interesting, but the end result is quite nice. So we duplicate it again, and now we have to drag this one, oh come on, drag this one over here, and well, you can't snap in this, well, this program at all. Like, there is no snap function, so you'll have to do it by hand, and if you're, as long as you're close enough, it should look fine. The thing is, if you want to make sure that you have it, then just zoom in completely and just overlap a little bit. Just make sure that you overlap it a little bit like this, and this way you're sure that there is no pixel between them, or even half a pixel, because you will notice that. But since we're going to use different colors on the different things anyway, it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, it's kind of a hassle that you can't do it properly, because what I would like, of course, is to be able to snap to certain aspects. Hang on, yeah, we're just going to do it like this. Duplicate. So I'd like to be able to snap to corner points of my mask or something like that. And we're going to do the entire rows in one go, by the way. So I think I can just do that off screen. Oh, this is not good. This one overlapped a dark region, and you want that dark region to definitely be in here. But I'm going to do this, well, very quickly now, and I'll be back after. Okay, so we're about halfway through here. As you can see, I did quite a lot already. But we have another opportunity to do that same thing. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to take the mask where we currently are, which is this one. We're going to duplicate it, lock the old one, and then draw the point here where it's supposed to be, and then remove this point. And basically all we need to do now is drag the point that's over here to the next location. So yeah, this one is also going to end up like in the middle of nowhere. So as long as it's a triangle and not, well, you don't have weird angles anywhere, it's all good. So yeah, that was actually the way to do it. So you just copy first, and then you you remove one of the other points. Doesn't matter which point, as long as there's a triangle remaining, you can make whatever you want out of it. So continuing on then. Okay, so we're finally done. Oh my god, that was a lot of work. So I made about 280 layers, I believe. I'll have a look at in a moment. I'm unlocking all of them before I actually continue, because otherwise if I copy this layer I have to do all of them. Well, unlock all of them. 290. Minus 1 because I had to delete one because I made a mistake. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of work if we want to turn that into an animation, but well, it's doable. It's just a lot of work. And unlocking these as well. So now we have all these masks, and yeah, we can turn all of them to yellow if we want to. Yeah, I'm not actually sure if this works in one go, but we'll see. Yeah, it is. So yeah, everything is the color it needs to be. The thing is, now we are kind of well, stuck with all of these layers in one photograph, in one layer. All of these masks, I should say, in one layer. And that's what we don't want. We want them to be in separate layers normally. But we're not going to do that this time because it would be a lot of work. We would have to make 290 layers in order to to make this into something. So instead we are going to use the mask path to actually make an animation out of this. And I guess the simple animation we're going to make is we're going to just assemble the thing inwards, well, from the inside out. And that means that, well, we're going to have to edit the masks one by one in order to accomplish that, and that is going to be a lot of work. So how do we do this? We first bring up the mask path by just hitting M, and then we are going to do them one by one. We're going to start in the middle, which is basically my highest layers, and they are going to well, change position the earliest. First of all, I guess we can just, yeah, we can make all of them just have a position. So the current position is the position they should have after, let's say, 2 seconds of travel time, which means all of them can be, well, keyframed right here. And then we're going to go to the 0, and this is where it gets interesting, because this is where everyone just needs to move. And we can, for now, just do it like this. And, well, then spread it out afterwards. Or we can say, well, everyone is just going to come in from this side, which is fine as well. Yeah, so currently the entire thing comes in as one thing, and that is exactly what we don't want. So we can just move around these dots here to make sure that they come in later, for example. So now you can see a little bit is lagging behind over here. It didn't move in the beginning, and then it moves later. But yeah, both of them are going to be a lot of work. So whether you do it with layers or with, well, with this and then fill it, I am going to do that off screen, I guess. And, well, as I said, I'm basically going to say, well, where is every one of these? And if you're in the middle somewhere, then I'm just going to move you in the beginning, and otherwise I'm going to move you later on. So I'm going to pick up both of these at the same time, and then just, yeah, let's say the first few frames we're going to move all of the middle ones, and you can hardly tell where they are, but I know just about where they are, and it doesn't really matter anyway. It's just an animation to fill up the thing. It's not a big deal, but yeah, this is all I'm going to do for now. And then, well, the more I get outside of the middle, the more I, well, kind of have to move them back in time or forward in time. And yeah, the later they will come in. This is how you can actually tell where they come from. So just go and stand at around the 2-second mark, and or 1.5 seconds, and then you can see where they're moving from. And yeah, well, as I said, I will see you later. Okay, everything is done. As you can see, the entire rose is now on the right side, and it is going to rain in like this. The problem is, of course, we're now going to have to, part by part, color them, and yeah, that's going to be a lot of work once again. But yeah, there's nothing else I can do about that. So we're just going to have to, well, do it. And as you can see, it's actually quite nicely distributed. It's not perfect, obviously, because I just did it quite randomly, and it does look kind of good. So I am glad that it does look good. Of course, we can adjust it, but yeah, finding the correct layer is kind of a hassle. So yeah, we do have to realize that. And yeah, I did put most of the inner parts closer to the, well, the start immediately, so closer to the left, and the other parts to the right, but not all of them. For example, this is a part that goes over here, and it's one of the last ones, if not the last one to land. Actually, it is the last one to land. And also this one belongs here, which is very close to the center. So yeah, I did kind of mix it up, and it does look kind of good. The speed of it can be adjusted afterwards, of course. Currently it is about 12 seconds, but depending on if we want that to be more or less, we can, in, well, the next composition, where we can put this into that and then just slow down the entire composition. It should be no problem. Anyway, let's save this. And continue on. So as I said, this is going to be a lot of work. I'm going to, well, show you one. We're going to put a fill on here, and the fill is going to be not all masks, but just the one, mask number 1. And as you can see, yeah, we have quite a lot of masks to choose from. And mask number 1 is going to be, well, this one, but it's going to be one of the outer ones. Yeah, you can see where it actually is. And I want to colorize it, so I'm going to duplicate the photograph. Actually, it would be easier to fill in a new one, but whatever. I'm going to remove all the mask from it. Come on. This is taking forever. Here's the second photo. Yeah, putting in the photograph the same. Putting the photograph in would have been easier, the new photograph, or the same without the layers. But this should work as well. The thing is, I have a different position and a different everything. So anyhow, I now know that mask number 1 is over here. So I can fill it with the color of the actual photograph, and that will be that. So mask number 2 then, so all I need to do here is duplicate the mask or the thingy and then put number 2 in there. And obviously pick a new color. This is number 2. I know a few of them, but it is going to be really hard to spot all of them. Yeah, this is going to take a while, but now you know what I'm going to do. I will just go and do it, I guess, and I will see you afterwards. so we are finally done here with the whole rose. So this is the original picture, and this is what I made of it, and it's pretty close. That's because every shape and every color actually comes from the picture. There's a little bit of a gap here. I'll fix that in a moment. Yeah, for the rest, it looks good, I think at least. And we are just going to continue on. Well, we already have most of it because, as you might have noticed, we do have the animation going already from here, and then it kind of, yeah, it's now really hard to load because of all these different things that are in here. And there you go, we have several things coming in. We do have the issue that there's a line here. I'm going to try to fix that. That's because the original picture is not actually big enough to hold the entire thing, and yeah, you can see that the rose eventually forms. So this is quarter resolution, so don't worry about the lines that are in here and the pixelation. It won't be there in the final version. This is what the final version would look like. So yeah, there are little lines there, but that's quite acceptable. It kind of makes that you see the difference between the triangles a little bit better when the colors are really close. But yeah, all in all we now have to do is kind of finalize our design, and then we're kind of done. But first I'm going to fix this, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. I adjusted the color to look like this one and then be a little bit darker, just to have a little bit of a, well, a difference in them. Yeah, I didn't pick it from the original, and yeah, I did adjust the mask there a little bit. In case you're wondering what that was one of my cats jumping on the desk. She really knows she shouldn't do that, but anyhow, all that's left to do here is to finalize our animation, and then we're kind of completely done. So to do that, obviously we need to know what our actual animation is, and hang on, there you go. So yeah, well, as I said, all I need to do is just adjust the final thing. So I need to add a background, and I think that's all I'm going to do because the rest is all pretty much done. We can also add, if we want to, some shadow on the background, but for now we're just going to start with a new composition. It's going to be 1280 by 720. 5 seconds seems a little bit short. Let's make it 25, and we can cut it off later. So let's see. Comp 1. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, this is just the photograph, so comp 1 is the one that we want. And we're going to add a new solid there. It doesn't matter which color, because we're going to change that anyway. Generate 4-color gradient. Now let's make something greenish, not too bright. So this bright green needs to tone down a little bit. And let's make it a little bit like that. And then this one is going to be a little more bluish, I guess. Now that's actually really ugly. Yellowish, that's actually decent. So just throw them off a little bit so that you don't have all the colors exactly in the corners, because it looks weird if you do. And something like that would be nice. So let's see how that actually fits in with the rose itself once the rose has fully formed, which is about here somewhere. No, actually it's way later. Huh. So it's a good thing I kind of made that a little bit longer. It seems that we do have another little hole here, and I'm going to fix that as well. So I'll be right back. Okay, so once again, it's an easy fix. Well, in this case it took a little bit longer because, well, it was being stupid. But yeah, it's a relatively easy fix just because there's not a whole lot to do. all you need to do is grab one of the masks and then just drag it out so that it fits here, and then give it a color. So I gave it a color that was close to what it's supposed to be. I didn't want to take the original photo there, but yeah, okay. So the background's a little bit too bright for me. I want the rose to really pop. So we can actually start off with like a lighter background if we want to. So we can like do the opacity at 100, and then once it's done, or once it's nearly done, let's say about here, we are going to 40%. Okay, so yeah, now we're probably going to have to look at the complete animation and able to be able to kind of, yeah, adjust certain things, but that is going to take way too long, so I'm just going to call it a day. I think it looks good enough, and it definitely demonstrates how to make these kind of animations. They are a lot of work. I'm just saying, this is about 5 hours work, and it's just a rose. Well, a rose is a very complex object, so if you do simpler objects, you will of course have less less of these triangles, and with less triangles you have less work. And if you make a more complex animation than I did, then yeah, you are going to spend quite a bit more time on it. But yeah, I think it looks good. The background now changes color to this color, and yeah, it's all good. It doesn't really matter too much what you make of it, as long as you like it. So we're going to cut off the composition at 15 seconds, and that is going to be that. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with this problem. You can of course solve it. It comes from the fact that my original photograph, so the one that I have over here, this one, if I put it in this comp, yeah, you can see that it cuts off exactly at that line. So yeah, that's where the problem comes from. So had I taken a bigger photograph, I would have been fine. For some reason it doesn't really do that though. So it doesn't really go beyond the reach. So even if I up the scale, it doesn't really care. But yeah, I'll try to fix it. If I do fix it, then yeah, I'll just tell you right after this. But yeah, for now, I'm assuming I can't fix it, but yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Okay, so I did fix it, but it was a lot of work. So yeah, make sure you do this correctly before you actually do it. Well, everything is fixable as long as you invest enough time. Yeah, I don't know if I can show you what I've done. Let's just do this and then close all of the layers. So what I've done is for every one of these original layers, I made a new layer, and the new layer is based on this new photograph. So the original photograph is this, and the new one is this. So I just added a bunch of pixels to the side with Photoshop, and I basically then just said, well, copy paste all of the masks. First you do the mask, then you do all of the fills that are in here. Yeah, and then everything will line up. If you do it the other way around, it won't line up and you will get screwed. But yeah, this way it actually did work, and now as you can see on the edge, it will come in and actually show itself. So that is excellent. That's really all. That's, I think, the only way to fix it. But yeah, that's the way it is. So that was really all, and I will see you next time.